What's going on, everybody? This is Childish. We're back at it again with a brand new video for Might and Magic Elemental Guardians. Today we're going to be talking about the current event that's going on, the Dwarf Treasury event, and why I feel this is probably one of the best events out there in the game today. So if you guys haven't checked it out, basically it is a crystal dungeon. All you have to do is clear the stages in order to obtain a vast amount of crystals. So when we think about the current game at hand and all the things that we have to do, as you know, we have to farm those glyphs, but more importantly, we have to upgrade those glyphs in order to make our units that much stronger and be able to push through the content. So with the current status of the game and being able to get those crystals, it seems like it's a little bit harder to obtain as you're pushing through. So having dungeons like this to be able to get, forget about glyphs for a second and just get the crystals, save them up so that you can invest into those glyphs when you get them. This is going to be one of the best things you can take advantage of. Okay, so we're running the 10th stage of the dungeon right now. We're running a pretty sustainable team. I got 2 healers, a cooldown resetter, as well as an AoE poisoner. Now the end boss is the Earth Shield Guard. Now this boss has a immunity as well as defense for 2 turns, and so it's going to be a little bit of a pain considering that we have no type of strip outside of the second skill on the Earth Filler Core, and of course our Chimera built wizard who can potentially purge if we get lucky. But that being said, the thing that I'm just trying to focus on right now is the fact of sustainability and making sure that I am clearing through the wave and clearing it completely. While we can make a couple of changes to speed up the process as which we can clear it, the goal is to simply make sure that you make it all the way through so you can get the maximum amount of crystals that you can obtain in this one. As far as just to kind of talk about a couple of benchmarks here, if you can complete stage 5, you're going to be getting a little over 25,000 crystals, and if you can clear the stage 10, you're getting about 49,000 crystals. Now, if you're a mid-game player already clearing Wrath 10 right now, you already know that generally speaking, we're getting a vast amount of yellow glyphs as well as purple glyphs. So when we think about what they generally sell for, which is anywhere between 17 to 25,000, and then even more depending on the amount of substats we have, flat out, this is by far one of the most efficient ways to use your energy. Okay, this specific stage costs 10 energy to clear, and like I said before, we're getting 49 crystals if we can clear it completely. So when we think about the 10 energy that we spend in Rat Dungeon, the potential to possibly get 50k at the end of the day, that basically comes down to like a purple glyph with high amount of substats, and we basically don't need it. We have to sell it and whatnot. So one of the arguments that can be made is is this better to farm this, or is it better to farm the regular Rat Dungeon? So I'm trying to put it in perspective here. I hope that you guys understand that this is way better than farming regular Rat Dungeon. And of course, it's a limited amount of time, so definitely take advantage of it as if you got the time available. Now, I do want to talk about something. The biggest thing that you probably talk about or hear talk about in the Discord community is efficiency. What should you do in order to take full advantage of this dungeon? Now, for me, as you guys know, I'm not a free-to-play player, but I've moved up here and I'm taking advantage of the last stage I can. So if I have, let's say I have a lot of things going on today and I can't check my phone on a regular basis, then I'm going to go ahead and just, run the 10th stage and just get the 49k as much as possible. But as you guys know, it's a limited amount of time that we can do this event. So me being a pay-to-play player, I'm going to be looking at the stage that allows me to clear it as quick as possible, so that I can kind of get as much resources per hour, right? So if this is a 5-minute, for example, if this is a 5-minute run right now, and I'm getting 50k, right? Take that times 12, that's going to be the amount that we're going to be able to obtain in an hour, assuming that we're doing it. But the crazy thing about it is, if I take this, if I go back down to stage level 5, I can literally clear stage 5 in just a little over a minute. Now, stage 5 is not going to be as efficient, right? We're using 8 energy versus 10 energy, and we're gonna be, we're just not getting as many crystals per run, but just the amount of runs that we can do in that hour is going to be the way to go. So what we'll do right now is we'll talk about the team that I'm currently running. I'm going to load up Kappa. I'm going to put the Fire Kappa in front because I want him to go before my Fire Succubus here. They are both at the same amount of speed, 139. And then my Air de Jin, as I've seen, you guys have probably seen in my arena videos, we've showcased this one. Shout out to Max one time, as he was the one that showcased this to me. And I'm actually going to leave my Fire Nymph here. So we're going to go ahead and run this and talk about why we created this composition. So if you are a pay-to-play player, this is something to consider, given the fact that the boss is is of Earth element, right? We're looking to take the elemental advantage and try to do as much damage as possible, right? So if you are super fortunate to have a very, very strong fire nuker, especially the fire succubus, she's going to be one of the ones that I would definitely recommend you taking advantage of, okay? So again, going back to the boss at hand, he has the immunity, he has a defense, and he has a defense buff, but he has an extensive amount of defense. So if you cannot incorporate some kind of a composition that has a purging ability plus poison, the poison, if you guys did not know, on these specific like event dungeons, you're going to be able to get 10% of the enemy smash HP per tick, whereas in regular wrath, benefit, or strength dungeons, you're only getting 5% of the enemy smash HP. So you get a little bit more value, but you still have to deal with the immunity. So my thought process was, let me look at units that provide ignore defense and see what I can do in order to take him out. And obviously we got super lucky given the fact that he is an earth element. So we're taking full advantage of our fire succubus. As you guys can see, we've only been talking about, I think, like 30-35 seconds, and we're already pushing through wave 4. We're going to be done with this thing sooner than you can say Might Magic Elemental Guardians, okay? But anyways, getting back to the topic at hand, let's talk about the team that I'm running and why we're doing what we're doing, okay? So first up, we'll talk about the order that we're running. We're running the Fire Cap at first. He's providing the AoE defense break as well as the hunting ability. So he's going to be able to speed up the runs by allowing the Fire Succubus to be able to do a ton of damage. And when it comes to the buffs here, the Zen is going to be going up next. She's providing the speed buff, the critical rate buff, as well as the critical damage buff. So all those three are going to provide obviously a good amount of damage due to the fact that the Fire Succubus is speed scaling. And then so you're probably wondering, why in the world would you bring in the Fire Nymph? Well, the Fire Nymph is going to provide the attack buff as well as the turn bar increase. The turn bar, I don't know if you guys know, but the Fire Nymph is one of the strongest attack bar boosters in the game, providing 60% for your units. So given that combined with the high amount of speed on the Fire Succubus, even if the Fire Succubus does not kill the unit, if that skill goes right underneath them and you get the attack buff on there, she's going to be able to go and finish off the unit that she almost killed and then move on to the next unit, right? So, but again, that's something to consider, guys. If you're looking to create some kind of composition, even if you don't have, exactly what I have, take a look at not only the units that provide you the turn bar manipulation, the attack buff, but take a look at units that provide you elemental advantage, right? That give you the elemental advantage so that you can move through the content and clear those units out in a little bit quicker fashion. Again, even if you don't have the attack buff, that 30% damage increase that you gain when you have the elemental advantage over another unit is going to assist you in taking out these units really, really quick, okay? So that's pretty much it for the run, guys. Again, this is the Dwarf Treasury event, a super great event that you want to take advantage of. Again, I've only been farming this maybe, I don't even know, maybe for a couple of hours off and on. I've been busy kind of doing some stuff around the house, but I basically went from literally, I was down to like 23,000 crystals, and I'm up to like 1.6 now, and I'm hoping to get well in the vicinity of like 12 to 15 million by the time this event dungeon's done. How am I going to do that? I'm going to be as efficient as possible, but obviously being a pay-to-play player, I'm going to take advantage of quick runs when I can. If I'm super busy, it is the weekend, so if I got a lot of things going on, then I'm going to run the stage 10, just take advantage of the highest amount of crystals I can get at that specific time. But if I am chilling, if I have the chance to check my phone every minute and a half, then I'm going to be looking to take on a lower dungeon so that I can basically bleed out my seals to use as energy in order to just keep on farming this over and over and over again. I've actually admitted a couple of times on streams that I'm kind of embarrassed to say how many seals I've actually used to go ahead and purchase crystals outright in order to upgrade some of my glyphs that I've obtained in this game. And this is an interesting scenario for, especially for the mid-game players here. We're constantly getting glyphs that we can potentially use, but like I said before, once we get those glyphs, we need to have the crystals to go ahead and level them up. And if we don't have the crystals leveling them up, they just kind of sit there and we're not able to progress our units like we want to. So I'm definitely a big fan of this dungeon and gonna take advantage of it anytime I can. But again, guys, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions about this dungeon, please feel free to leave it in the comment section down below. And for those of you guys that have some kind of a different team that you're currently running, why don't we help out the community? Go ahead and put your team, what stage you're on and how long it takes you to clear, so that if we have those units, we can take advantage of it, okay? Now, let's say you've played this game you just started this game, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, like, should I take advantage of this or not? Obviously, you're going to need a decent amount of glyphs already. You're going to need a decent amount of units to take advantage of these stages. So if you can't clear really far, I probably would recommend just kind of keep on doing what you're doing. Get back into farming, leveling up your units, being as efficient as possible with your achievements, getting those rewards, and take advantage of that. But for those of you guys that have pushed through this game or have been playing now for a couple of months, anytime you have a dungeon like this, you have to take advantage of it no matter what. Stop what you're doing and get in there, okay? Now, that's going to be it, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's your boy Childish Plays checking out. Take care. We will see you all in the next one. I'm out.